What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tyne.
Hello.
What's going on? And Chris Abacon.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Chris? So, welcome back. Again, Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. This week will be Rebecca Skeet from Black Girls Hack. She's a COO. Really good conversation. Definitely check that one out. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
Everybody. So this article comes from scientificamerican.com, right? Written by Lauren Leffer. And the title of this one is Artists Are Slipping Anti-AI Poison into Their Art. And then it's like, here's how it works, right? So what started happening was you have these digital artists, right? Or these people that make their living, whether it be you might catch them out there on Fiverr, with people reaching out saying, hey, I want this type of artwork for this, whether it be a game cover, or what are some of the other uses here? Not just games, but like even when it comes to thumbnails. Yeah, exactly, right. So you got people out here that do this as their living, right? Well, AI has made this so much easier for people to just be like, hey, this is what I want. I am looking for first, second, and third here, right? And then you get something that has been somewhat, and again, AI is a learning tool, right? So it's done the scanning, it's done the looking, and it said, this is what I see that is tied to these different, I don't want to say keywords, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ryan, you would know this better than me, but different, what am I trying to say here? A keyword,
and things of that nature.
Different types of prompts. So based off those prompts, like it takes those words and says, this is based off what I have learned off the millions of things that I've looked at. This is what I think you're looking for. And some of these artists, they're feeling pressure, right? Because you get these AI generated images that come out and it's very similar to what they're putting out, right? So what started happening is they have these poisoning tools, right? So Nightshade was the name of one of them. Glaze is the name of another, to where they can do these things. They can do these things where they can create these images that poison the AI. So where it sees them, and it only takes it seeing a couple hundred of these, which is relatively small, and then it doesn't give you what you're looking for, right? So these artists, it kind of saves their job. So when people come out there and they say AI is going to take your job, it is happening to these people, right? But this poisoning makes it to where AI can't generate exactly what people are prompting it for, right? So Glaze and Nightshade, what they do is it's a little bit of like optical illusions that you put, when you create things to where it looks at it and it can't necessarily decipher, right? Now, this is not a long-term solution. Right, not a long-term solution, and I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about this. Right, so you know me, right? Like I'm not on social media, I'm not out there in all the things that are current. Right, I'm not as much into the AI as Ryan is, but I'm kind of conflicted because it is costing people jobs, and there are people that are, spending a lot of money to go to school and learn these skills too, right? Like these digital designers and things like that. They're putting money into this, and their livelihood is being taken away from them in a short amount of time, right? Like we've talked about this, about how you got the AI that's just exponentially getting better at what it does. Faster and faster, it's getting to those pinnacles. You know what I mean? So I'm a little conflicted on this because it's like, yeah, AI makes a lot of things easier, right? Which is good, and is kind of what we as humans ask for, right? But these people that are losing their jobs, I feel for them. You know what I mean? Because they have a passion for this. Like, this is not something you do if you don't have passion for it, right? So their passion is essentially being taken away from them. So I don't know what to think about this, but I'm a little conflicted, and I do have some sympathy for people that are going through this. But Chris, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, first thoughts is, one, this is a really ingenious way to protect artists and their, intellectual property, but protect their work, right? To protect their livelihood, as you were saying. It's super important for one, as us as, as a society, to have artists, to have people that, explore that aspect of, our culture, right? Art is a huge part of it, whether it's, through digital media creation, paintings, things of that nature. But I did want to talk about Glaze and Nightshade a little bit. So it's Glaze, based on the MIT article that I read, right, is a masking tool, right? So it helps mask the art or images on those specific files, and then Nightshade's supposed to be a addition to Glaze, to where this is, of course, speaking in terms of generative AI. For example, the infection works in an MIT article where it says, for example, you've got dog right in your prompt, right? The way the infection works is that instead of a dog being input, it'll put like cat. It'll just make it opposite or make it something different than it originally was, right? So in the MIT article, they got like a really good diagram, right, of a clean model where it's unaltered, right, unpoisoned, where they can say, "Hey, look, I want a dog." It pumps out a dog, right? Where they also have comparisons to poison models, where, "Hey, look, this person wants to get a dog, but guess what? The AI is pumping out a cat." Right. So it's almost like you're confusing the AI model, right? Because of what you've input into it, right? So now for some reason it thinks a dog is a cat because it's been poisoned to that effect. Another one they have in the article is a handbag, right? And it ends up being a toaster or a hat and turned into a cake, right? Based on the images that it generated, right? So to me, this is one really fascinating, but it's also interesting to see that I feel like this. They did mention this in the article as well, is that this can be exploited as well, right? This can be exploited to the point where I think an AI can be completely useless because it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Hey, I'm asking it to paint me an image of a bay, right? But with boats, overlooking the sunset, whatever. But it's giving me a desert, right, at night, right? So it's something to think about, right? Because these nightshade can't, like you were saying, like I mean, it can be used maliciously, right? So all these things that can be done to protect artists can be used in a malicious manner to degrade a specific AI model, whether if it's hosted on a specific system, if it's compartmentalized in some that way or fashion, right, or if it's a global system, right. So to me, I feel like this is really cool, right? There's a lot of opportunity, and I think it's a great way for artists to protect themselves to ensure that, hey, I just generated a picture, right, but it doesn't look anything like what I painted, right? And then kind of going off on a tangent here regarding generative AI. I'm a fan of generative AI photos and things like that. Like they can pump out art for you. But to me, I think a lot of generative AI, I think most of us can tell that, hey, look, that's a Midjourney photo, right? That's a doll E photo, or that's one from this specific model, because they themselves have a specific art a signature, right? If you put all those portraits of, what's an example, NFL players as villains or something like that, right? Or you put NFL teams as anime characters, you're going to realize like a lot of the shading, a lot of the contrast, a lot of the way that they shape the faces, they kind of look the same. So in its own sense, these generative AI models are their own little artists, right? So from just to kind of give hope to the artists out there, I think artists is so unique to an individual that I really don't think, unless it's a one for one copy, that an AI at this point in time can really recreate it, right, to the discerning artist eye. I always think that they all look the same, right? They all have the same shade. They all have the same little shadows. You can tell when it's an AI photo nowadays, right? At least
Yep.
art side. But for altered photos, like people, I think there is still more to be done on that.
So,
But
so
yeah,
to
those are kind of my first thoughts on generative AI.
you're right, right? Like it's getting to a point where it's like, yeah, I can tell that is some type of generative AI photo, right? But like, and they even mentioned this in the article, right? Like this is going to be short term. Like there's going to be a point where this will get this will not be as big an issue as it is right now, right? But to your point, um, wouldn't you just have to prompt it like, hey, do less shading on the left side, right side, whatever that signature is that you're talking about, which is true. You could just prompt it to not have that anymore, and then you won't have it, right? Like
True,
that's
that's true.
the point of generative AI. So we are like, even though this is something now to where it is helping these digital designers and things of that nature, or different artists, that point, it is going to overcome that, right? Like we said, like we are getting to that pinnacle. That new pinnacle is happening like every week, it seems like. Now it can do this. Now Chat GPT, this version does this. Now, you know what I mean? Like we're getting to it very fast, and it's only a matter of time, right?
That's a good point.
No, I agree. So I'm conflicted on it. Again, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're trying to get to 500 subs in the near future. I keep saying by the end of the month. I don't know if we're going to be able to push like 83, 84, but you never know. All right. If you have some friends, please share our content. Please get us some more people looking at our daily episodes, our daily articles, our weekly newsletter, all that good stuff. We generate a lot of content here. So I'm conflicted because I'm heavily reliant on AI. I joked about it last week that ChatGPT was down for a day and it jacked up my entire workflow because all of my thumbnails, my transcription to articles. Because fully transparent, I don't write 100% of every article. I use the words that we said and I repurpose them into the articles and then I QC it. And tweak where necessary. So as opposed to be sitting there for an hour to write an article, it takes me 10, 15 minutes to make it less AI and more me, right? And I don't feel bad about the article portion of it anyway, because it is our words. So I didn't have it generate something brand new. I just had to take what we said and make it flow like an article would flow. But with art, I do feel kind of bad because all the thumbnails I generate are Dolly thumbnails. I feel ingenious when I prompt it to make certain things. Like the latest one for Friday was a father and son sitting on a couch playing Street Fighter, and I made it comic book style. I didn't draw anything. I just prompted it with what I wanted it to look like, and after it generated so many images, I was like, that one's the good one. And I took that one and I treated it in Canva. So I did very minimum, right? Like it had too many joysticks on the controller. I got rid of the inappropriate amount of joysticks because it just couldn't figure it out. Right? You only need one. So I do have to treat all the art and then throw on the branding and all that good stuff. But for the most part, this would be somebody else's job. I don't have payroll. I don't have anybody on staff to do it. So it is now ChatGPT's job. I paid $20 a month. However, my confliction is it is eradicating jobs, and I wish that there was some kind of incentive or some kind of pipeline or something to cause these big companies to have to pay artists to create art to then train the model. I wish that's the way it was, as opposed to just sucking up the internet and basically bridging on people's IP and things of that nature. I know it's not supposed to, and there's supposed to be restrictions, things of that nature. It's way above my pay grade, but I have heard of artists finding their material within it somehow. Like that's crazy to me. I don't know what they're prompting to say to find their particular art, but they're saying that their art is being basically plagiarized. So that does make me feel bad, and I wish that they could pay them, but then it'd be raised to the bottom, right? As opposed to these artists being commissioned for hundreds of dollars, they'd be paid pennies by big corporations,
Or just be less of them. That's the thing.
or
Like
there'd be less.
you don't require as many. You don't require the team you did before to produce those things. You require
Right.
2 or 3 to train the AI.
So you're thinking a model where it's like Apple Music or Spotify, where the artist gets some type of royalties per listen.
Something, right?
So maybe some type of algorithm where it's like
they pay artists like a fourth of a penny.
Yeah.
For a
So
stream.
hey, every time somebody generates something and then the AI decides to, pick something from that deviated from the art, that person should get. I think that's a great idea. But again, the analytics required for that and the programming required for that in itself is a huge investment, right? So is that investment worth the squeeze when we're talking to NVIDIA, who's got record high freaking stock prices, OpenAI, Microsoft? I think there is some corporate responsibility that needs to happen within those corporations.
Yeah. So I don't know how to fix it though. That's the problem. Like it is going to eradicate jobs and it's going to come for all of us. So either you get good at using it So then it becomes another tool within your tool belt, or someone who is able to use it will replace you. But in this case, side hustles are going away. Like they're definitely impacting people's ability. Like I don't pay for any thumbnails. I don't pay for any copywriting. I don't pay for any editing right now. Like so, if I decide to write a book, then I will need humans, right? Because nobody wants to read AI generated guides and books and things of that nature. Like it's very very frowned upon. So I would write it, then I have a human edit it, but then that's only the one project. And then every week I have 5 projects, basically 6 if you count the newsletter, right? So every week I'm writing an article and then I'm using a thumbnail, and like those could be other people's jobs, and they're not getting that money. But I'm also not getting paid, so like, I don't have any money to give them. So I don't know. Like maybe if this was a situation where I had sponsorship and marketing and all that stuff, I would hire somebody to get on staff, because human art is always going to be better than AI art, in my opinion, at least for the foreseeable future. Because, like you said, it's all stylized, and I think on purpose, it's meant to not look as good as an artist's material would, or else we'd already be there. Because every week AI gets better and better, so it should already be.
It's just so perfect in the way it delivers something, and I think part of the art is that imperfection that can create that, it can create that emotion where, hey, look, this is an amazing piece of work, right? And I don't get that same feeling with some of the AI stuff that I've seen.
So inadvertently,
I'm being very bougie now. So I'm being
no. Ryan, you inadvertently brought up. You guys have seen iRobot, right? So I don't know if you guys remember the scene specifically where Sonny is drawing something out, and he's talking about what's his name? Spooner is telling him, "Is like, you can't create a masterpiece." You know what I mean? Like, you're AI, you can't create a masterpiece. You inadvertently touch on that, right? Like, and Chris, to your point, I think it is the imperfection in it that makes it more appreciated. You know what I mean, by the masses. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I put a quote in the chat because I can't say his lady's last name, so I was hoping that Shannon could help me out. But she went viral. She's already an author, and she does some stuff in gaming as well. I don't know her very well, but I've seen her article, her quote's been used all over the place, right? Where it says, "I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do the laundry and dishes." So that's been kind of blown up everywhere. Her name is Joanna
Machuska.
Friend with that name, Machuska.
Machuska. That's how you say. There you go.
I think it's Machuska. Yeah.
Yeah. So very very good quote, and I do agree with her. And man, so it really is. It's really hurting people in the arts. However, I still am optimistic where I think those people will be way more capable of engineering prompts and design than us laymen, right? Like for me, I'm not an artist. I'm not a photographer. I can get AI to make these things with my very rudimentary prompts, right? But someone who understands how to film a shot, someone who understands art and how to break it down by line and composition and all that other shading, all that, they should be able to make way better than I can. So there's hope in that, but then you're still taking the art away from the artist. Like now they're not able to sit there and craft. They're basically feeding it to the machine. Machine's craft. So that's unfortunate. Um, I I think that's the way we're going. I don't know what 2025 looks like, because 2024 is already off the rails when it comes to AI and what it's capable of doing. So I have no clue. Like at the end of the year, Apple Intelligence will be in everybody's iOS device. So I put my hands up. I don't know. I don't know what to do for these people, unfortunately, because it is going to kill the side hustle. Because I don't think anybody's going to commission an AI to make them a work of art to put in their home. That is of quality and expense, right? Like I may, because I'm gonna go to the whatever TJ Maxx or the Ross to pick up something. I won't. My wife kill me. But if I was a dude with a bachelor pad, I would ask AI to make me the portrait where I'm sitting in the chair. You know what I'm talking about?
The Game of Thrones, I'm God portrait. Yeah, I got you.
I would, but so for somebody of health, that's not going to be good enough for them. So it still will commission the artist, in my opinion. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for this one. But I'm not going to stop what I'm currently doing. However, if I ever do get to a point where this thing starts to generate revenue, like yeah, I would hire somebody because I would rather have their art for the thumbnail than to have Chat GPTs. Like, I wouldn't be frugal in that regard, but I just don't have the cap space right now.
Want
So
that
Chat GPT is
signature in the bottom
my
right
number
corner.
one. So it is. All right. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. Wednesday discussion like this one. And then Thursdays Ask a CISSP. That'll be Rebecca Skeet from Black Girls Hack. She's the COO over there, and really good conversation. So definitely tune in for that one. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Hit me up on all the websites that go by my name, or the website, or I'm sorry, not the website. We don't have a website, or the podcast name. So either the other side of the Firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask CISSP. I'm at Right Security Guy. And where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under Chris Abacon. Last name is spelled A Bacon.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.